This is the xSports Network.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
From the xSports Network, this is xSports Live, presented by Hinie's BBQ.
Welcome everybody here to xSports Live from Hinie's BBQ. We're off to a great start of it.
You need a mic check. We have no mics.
We have nothing. That right there was working earlier.
I'm up. Am I good?
We're good.
We're good. You need my mic?
Here you go.
Oh man, wouldn't be an xSports Live without.
Absolutely.
Let's try this again.
Try it. Grab another one, Dustin. All right. You got me, Kevin. All right.
You got me, Kevin?
Back here at xSports Live from Hinie's BBQ. Got all of our local baseball teams in the area tonight and off already to an amazing start. Got Dusty Kaiser, Cam Mashburn back here tonight. We missed Cam from wrestling night.
Dude, you missed it.
I hunted for 2 weeks at my parents' house for old wrestling shirts in anticipation, and then had something come up and can't make it. Wednesday nights aren't good for me, so.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at some point.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Man,
I actually ordered 2 wrestling shirts. Guess when they came?
The next day.
The next day is the way it always works. That's right.
Thursday. I wore them on the day. It fits great.
Yeah.
But
Missed a good show, man. It was fun. It
I
really
bet.
was.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week
I'm
for
bummed to miss it.
For our local teams. Everyone's gotten in a couple games here, some important district games. We'll start off with the Loretto baseball team who did something I've never seen. And I've seen hundreds of baseball games, the pro level, the college level, high school, middle school, but I've never seen a team. Still nothing. I think it's my voice that is making all this. Ball, other side? Okay. We'll get it straight. But I've never seen a team score 18 runs in one game. That's pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah.
There were some blowouts back in the day when you had Lawsy and you had Ryan, and of course I think I don't know if Blade was on that state championship team or not.
It might have been 8th grade, right?
I think it might have been 8th grade, but regardless, I mean that you had Jacob James and that bunch, and then you had 3 legit college professional pitchers. And they were shutting teams out and scoring tons of runs. So I don't know if they ever scored 18.
That's a lot.
A lot of runs.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to go back in the record books. For me being from Lawrenceburg, I can't remember that far back. But I know we put up some runs over the years, but I don't know 18.
I mean, they almost batted around 3 times in one inning.
I know one thing. You come up to 8 and 7-year-old up at Bobby Brewer, we're getting 18 runs scored on us nightly.
We hung 17 on a team last night, 8-year-old coach pitch.
Well, that was going to be our team because it was our team.
Not last night. We played you in the jamboree.
And they scored 18.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
it ain't me.
Yeah.
It's my son. He's the one that sucks. I'm kidding.
So they've started off district play at 4-0, doing pretty good. A couple wins against Lewis County, a couple wins against Mount Pleasant, and they've played a tough schedule, and they're kind of proven to be everything we thought they were going to be at this point.
Yeah, they played a couple good teams out of Alabama already.
Yeah.
And got a couple.
One
got
maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe tomorrow. State champions, Alabama coming up. Yeah.
So they've. It's obviously got the program going in the right direction. It has been for many years. Yeah. Anytime you can have a star athlete come through a school in any program, no matter if it's basketball, football, whatever it is, that's going to have a carryover effect for the future generations. Right. So when you saw what Ryan was able to do, then Blade and some of those other guys, and then you win a state championship in the midst of that and almost won another one. Yeah. That's going to create an effect with younger kids all the way down. That's going to be somewhere where kids want to be. Yeah. And they're going to get kids from Lawrenceburg and from that buffer zone like I was where you could go either or. Yeah. You're going to get those kids because they want to be a part of a winning program. Yeah. And I think that's what's happened there, for sure. And you've had the kids, that might have not played in past 6th grade or whatever it is, all of a sudden stepping up.
What's up, Patty? Good, how are you?
And starting to play.
Yeah.
And because they see that high school is going to be fun.
Yeah, you're good.
Once they get there, they're going to win, so they want to stick it out. I think that's a lot of what you're seeing that they've kind of built.
Yeah.
And it doesn't show any signs of letting up.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, Ryan had his first start the other night against.
He looked good,
He
too.
looks really good.
Yeah, I thought he did.
And,
Well, I've made a point. Of course, I know Ryan, as many people do. Played golf with him a lot. Obviously, covered him through high school, but I've watched pretty much every game he's pitched, even in the minors. I mean, I was talking with David about it. He looked, and Ryan was telling me in the off season some of the things he was working on, and you can really see those things are paying off. His changeup is a legitimate weapon right now.
Yeah.
And that was something he didn't have before. His slider is breaking he threw who was it he struck out with a slider down and in? It might be his best pitch I've ever seen as a professional athlete. I think he's if he can continue, he's going to have a really, really good year.
Adam Lindsay now joining us here, and now moving to the softball side of Loretto, a team that has kind of struggled a bit, but this is kind of what they did last year. In the middle of the season, struggled a little bit, but kind of came on strong once the year went on, and a lot of the same players from last year for Loretto, and certainly has a chance to break out at some point.
And I think also not taken into account is the new coach. I mean, that's big for a team. When you bring in a new coach that has, a new system, things in place, it takes time. It's never an easy transition. Right now, they're trying to figure out. I heard Rodney speak on their broadcast the other night. They're trying to find themselves. Defensively, moving around. It just takes time. Right now, offensively, it seems where they're kind of struggling. And you can't underestimate what they lost either. I mean, they lost a lot of really good kids that were support, that were really good players. So it's not that easy all the time to replace those kids, within the year. It just takes time, to get those kids. But yeah, I don't really worry. Bottom line is with Loretto, the goal is to be there when it matters.
Right.
And right now they just need to get better every game. Concentrate, and they will. They'll be fine.
Speaking of good softball and a good team in the area, you've had a front row seat to what Summertown's been doing so far this season. Off to a good start, played really well down there at Gulf Shores, and had a very dramatic double-digit inning walk-off home run win last night against Giles County.
Yeah, exciting game to watch, frustrating game to watch. It probably wasn't in what I would call enjoyable softball. I think Giles County and Summertown both squandered so many opportunities throughout the game. But, Abbott with the big home run there, walk-off with 2 outs to keep Summertown undefeated. And I'll tell you what, too, those 2 pitchers last night, I'll have to give them credit. Lindsay, my daughter, and Pickett, for Giles County. There's not many games you see that go 10 innings and there was no walks in the whole game.
That's impressive.
I mean, no walks in 10 innings with 2 pitchers that, and I believe Lindsay gave up 6 hits. I believe Pickett was around there too. Only 3 total strikeouts in the whole game in 10 innings.
Wow. Pretty impressive.
So, it just goes to show that, those 2 pitchers worked hard. Those 2 defenses are the real deal. I'm telling you, it's hard to score runs against either one of those defenses. But, it was a fun game to watch.
And now moving to the baseball side over at Summertown, a couple of tough losses against, Lewis County, one in extra innings, one where they had the lead yesterday. And, they played well over in Murfreesboro, again, over in Siegel, picked up some wins against some teams from Illinois who made the trip down to Tennessee, and that's also speaking of a team that's just trying to find themselves right now.
Yeah, it's going to take time. From what I've noticed, their bats, they've got the talent. Right now at the plate, they're just inconsistent.
Right.
And they're I kind of put them in the boat with Loretto a little bit. Although you definitely don't have a new coach, but they're trying to find themselves too.
Yeah.
They've got some young kids that have had to step in.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of young kids. Jackson Bennett's one I've been watching. A lot of talent. He's just young. It's going to take time to get those kids built into the program. But Main thing is to be there when it matters and to get better. And but they're in a tough district. With Loretta, Lewis County. I've watched both of those games at home and away, back to back, and that's a good baseball team too, with a lot of talent. So it's at a point now where every district game you're going to have to go out and fight. It's not like it used to be at times where you may have some given games. I mean, if you don't play good baseball, you're not going to win. So they'll be fine.
Now moving on the Lawrence County softball wise, you lose your starting pitcher off of a line drive up the middle. Having someone now in that spot that is not used to pitching. She hasn't really pitched the majority of the season, and I know they were missing a lot from last year, and having that injury certainly didn't help them, especially now when you look at the Lincoln counties and the Pages of the world, and Marshall County's not bad. I mean, that's a tough district. Lose of all the hands to hit on the line drive, you hit the pitching hand.
Yeah, and they're in a difficult situation to where I would love to give some uplifting, but I really can't do that. And I don't mean that for them. Those are some great kids. I think their coaching staff's doing a good job with what you've got, but you can only work with what you've got. And right now they're just in a tough spot, but they've got to work on the things they can control.
Right.
You're going to have more run production.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, whether it's mixing stuff up in the lineup, work on things defensively. You have to switch kids around.
Yeah.
Do it. You're kind of at a point now where it's kind of like hate to say it, but like the fire alarms went off. So, you've kind of got to do that. They've got a lot of talent, but they are really behind the 8 ball. And it's like you said, with the district they're in, the Pages and the Lincoln counties, it's going to be an uphill battle for them, and I hate to see it because I love a lot of those kids on that team.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough.
And Dusty, we move ahead to the baseball side over in Lawrence County. A couple of really close losses this week against Page, and pitching has been decent for this team the majority of the time. The offense has had its moments, and it just seemed like this team is just so close to just breaking out and having a big game.
And they are, AJ. We talked about it on the air, off air for the past couple of weeks. The hitting's not been there.
Yeah.
When we do get runners on base, we're straining runners on base. And the errors. We'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but they haven't give up a whole lot of earned runs. Casey Smith went, 8 and third?
Yeah, 8 and
Monday
third.
night,
Yeah.
threw 101 pitches, threw a phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just the little things like that, and we've lost some players. We've talked about it. Young team. I hate to use the word, we've used it so much, growing pains, but you gotta. It's kind of like Adam said. It's time to start, changing some stuff up in the lineup, changing some stuff up defensively, just kind of seeing what fits and where we're at. I think we got a good group of kids. I love our new coach. I think he's going in the right direction. It's just kind of we're in a fill-out process, I think.
Yeah, and especially this is district time for everybody, even though Lawrence County softball started off in district play, and they're pretty much almost done at this point. But for everybody right now, I mean, this is kind of when you need to turn it on, because those tournaments are very close.
Yeah.
And it's, those things you need to figure out, you got to go down now.
Lincoln County may be one of the best all-around ball clubs that we've seen. That we've played anyways, and Page, like you said, 2 just barely loose losses to Page, so I don't know. I think we can get there. This time.
It's going to take some time. Well, coming up next here, we're going to bring on the Mustangs of Loretto. That's coming up next here on xSports Live from Hinie's BBQ.
Do you have a small farm, a big farm, or just critters in the backyard to feed? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you need to make the short drive down to A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee today. Owner and operator Jamie Ayers has you covered and will treat you right. That's A&B Feeds in Etheridge, Tennessee. Don't be left with stumps, overgrown trees, and cluttered land. Make the call today to Bayworth Trimming, licensed, bonded, and insured. Proudly serving the region with years of know-how. Call today 931-300-3554 or visit bayworthtrimming.com.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we provided outstanding residential and commercial services through southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air, when you need us, we'll be there.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Back here at xSports Live from Heinie's BBQ, having a lot of fun here at someone's expense. It's not on camera. So joined here by the Loretto Mustangs. Got head coach Zach Kerr. Zach, I'll let you introduce your guys here.
We got Clint Seymour, catcher pitcher. We got Miles Moore's outfielder, and you got Cardano's first baseman, pitcher as well.
So guys, go ahead, Cam.
You named first baseman. I thought he was a pitcher first, then a first baseman.
Yeah, we mix it up sometimes. I don't know. I get lost in everything else he does.
So you guys are off to 4-0 right now in district play. I mean, obviously bats have been breaking out here in these games. So just talk about how well this team has been playing right now.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job about getting an approach at the plate. Obviously, we've pitched it pretty well. We can fix a few things, but hitting's come around recently, and one thing we've been preaching to them is having an approach and not just trying to pass it on to the next guy, but doing something with your bat productively to get to the next guy. Because early in the season, we were getting a lot of guys that were just trying to get on base, whether it was a walk or just trying to be perfect, and we were missing out on good opportunities to swing the bat. And so now we're getting some guys that are really starting to come into their own and own their swings and own their opportunities that they have.
Guys, how do you feel you've been playing so far?
Not everybody at once.
I feel like we started hitting a lot better, and it just helps us in the field when we don't have to be as perfect on defense, and we have some room to out the field.
Miles?
I feel like the later we've gone on, the more we've adjusted, and the past few games really showed up what we can do with the bats, and I feel like we have the best defense in the state, and it really helps pitchers too.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot more comfortable at the plate and having more trust in the guy behind us to get us in and getting on base.
18 runs, and I've never seen that in the hundreds of baseball games that I've covered or watched or played in, but I'm sure for you that's a first.
Yeah, that was a first. That definitely was. The guys just kept doing a good job about passing to the next guy and taking a good opportunity and good pitches and doing some damage with it, and then you get Caden kind of coming up and putting the ceiling mark on it with that grand slam, but I thought 1 through 9 yesterday did a great job of coming to the plate with an idea of what they were trying to do and not babying their swings and just being real aggressive.
Guys, for you, I know you've probably hit 18 runs in a game before, but just not one inning.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been a part of a team that scored 8 runs in an inning, much less the first inning. That was I don't know. I was just in shock. I was on the mound the first inning, and I came back in, and then
2 hours later, you didn't make
Yeah.
it.
All 9 pitches of him.
we didn't go back out for like 45 minutes. It was a lot of runs.
It's nuts. Obviously, you got a lot of athletes on your team. We've talked about it. And, anybody that's been around. What is for you guys? I'll let you guys answer this. Carter's going to be a little different situation, but I guess you in some degree, I guess. But I was saying earlier in the show that the success that Loretto had with Ryan and that bunch, and did that not filter down to make you want to play at the high school level? Did that not? I mean, is that something that made you excited about going and playing in high school?
Absolutely. I feel like we don't want to be like those guys. We want to be better than those guys, and that really kind of drives us. And we want our own signs and everything like that on the facility. It helps.
You look up and you see all the guys that's been drafted. Of course, we had the big ceremony back in January honoring all those guys. I mean, when you see that, you see the state championship. Does that drive you every day?
Yeah, it makes us want to make it where we get our own up there, and
right.
It gives us something to work for every day.
When you came to Loretto with your dad, did you already know about the baseball program?
Yes, because I'd watched them beat the crap out of my brothers every time they played them. So
yeah.
Coach, when you look at this, these are all underclassmen right here. You're going to get these guys back for another year, and they're playing as well as they're playing. How exciting are you that not just for this year, but knowing what's going to be coming in the years to come?
Right, no, definitely. These guys, we have a special bond with these guys, and not to say any other class that I've ever been a part of wasn't. This was my first group of freshmen, right? And so to see them come to fruition with how they've changed and matured in their approach and how they handle themselves is, I think the way they carry themselves spreads throughout the team, whether it's to the seniors or to the sophomores or to the freshmen. And it's not to knock our seniors at all because they're very hard workers, but this group of guys competes day in and day out. And kind of like you said, Cam, and like they said, they want to be the team to be talked about. They build off of what Ryan's team and Lawsey's team and all them did, but they want to make their own legacy so people start talking about them. And I think that's a special way to go about it, and they carry themselves in that way.
Talk about that, guys, knowing that this isn't going to be your final year. Clint, I know you got a couple more. You two got another one after this. So how excited are you for, not just for this year, but for the years to come?
It's exciting because we know we got a shot to go farther than we did last year, and we got a great shot to do it again next year. And our younger guys are stepping up a lot, and they're going to be a great group too.
Absolutely. The younger guys, they've really stepped in, like Clint said. They put in a lot of hard work and extra time, and pretty much whatever it takes.
We need to. I've listened to you talk since you were a little kid, but for some reason you sound just like your dad tonight.
Don't say that.
You do. You said we need to have a segment where it's blind and just have a mic and say, is it Nick or is it Miles?
That hurts a little bit.
Just get
the
Miles.
cadence is the same.
Get Miles to say fantastic.
Fantastic.
There it is.
So,
Nick.
Speaking of the elephant in the room, not physically and metaphorically over here, what's it like with having your dad be a coach as well?
We really don't talk at baseball. We we really don't. We kind of stay away from each other. And no, I mean it's not meant to happen that way, but we kind of stand clear and kind of do our own thing. Maybe at the end of the day we'll talk about it, but other than that, it's fine. Don't bother me any.
What about you two with Coach Moore?
He's always goofing around, keeping the mood lightened up, or he's always there to let you know what he sees and what he thinks you should do.
Yeah, he's always the coach to pick us up and keep us in a good mood.
You got to have guys like that. I mean, that's important. And you talk about this as the first group you had as a freshman. How much has the coach changed? Because he was coming straight out of a professional basebal player. I don't guess you ever
gained a little weight.
Well, he lost some with the hair too, right?
He did.
Cut the hair, but how much? Seriously though, I mean, because that had to be a hard transition for you, because you were playing professional baseball. Then the very next spring, it's like, well, I'm coaching high school. Not only just a high school team, it's a team that's had a lot of success.
Right.
how much has he grown that you guys have seen?
He's grown a lot. You know, when he first came in, we all kind of knew who he was. He was kind of like just another guy, you know, in the community. So it was a little bit of an adjustment, like, hey, that's Coach. That's not just Zach Curtis. You know what I mean? But
the respect level, it had to change that a little bit, I guess, right?
So it's really picked up and it's grown a lot, and I think everybody sees that now.
Are you scared of him?
Depends on if he's pitching. If he's pitching, maybe, because you don't know what's going. I was actually the first kid he hit in BP, ward off the wrist like a champion.
You hitting kids?
So did Cole.
Assert dominance early.
He knew what he was doing.
He had to earn his respect.
So who's got the better stuff? You or Coach?
Me?
Yeah, or Clint, either one.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, yeah, I still got it. Definitely. What about David?
Oh, that's definitely me. He's too old. He's too old.
David's pediatric.
Has he got a noodle arm?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Now he does.
He throws good big feet.
Don't you date his daughter?
Yeah.
This might go over well then, Carter.
He broke the number one rule.
He does throw good big feet.
Insult your future father-in-law? That's the number one rule? Yeah. Those could be feet, you hear that?
Yeah, he's trying to slide
he
something
grooves
in there.
them.
Yeah.
He's grooming bitches, yeah.
Oh, so I've been meaning to ask you this. Zach. So, you know, you've been around in the minors, been around in the majors. For both the minor leagues and the major leagues, what is your favorite place to pitch, worst place to pitch, same minors and majors?
Big leagues, my favorite was St. Louis.
Okay.
I loved St. Louis. I thought just the atmosphere is good.
Well, they sell it out every game.
They sell it out
regardless.
every game. Fans were good. Fans were knowledgeable. Listen, if there was a play made from the visiting team that was good, they'd applaud it.
Yep.
And so that's
I
why I
hate
love
the Cardinals, but you're right.
Worst one, and even though I debuted there, was Chase Field with Diamondbacks. Yeah, I mean that was the team I came up with, but just it's a lot of transplants. So Chicago, New York, all those people would come in, like teams would come in, and there'd be more fans for them than us, and so they would boo us. And so it's just
at
like,
home?
yeah, at home, and like you just don't want to be a part of that. But Philadelphia, Citizen Bank was probably one of my favorite places I've ever been because the fans held you to such a high standard that it was awesome. Minor leagues, I would definitely say Nashville was a good one, but Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte did it the right way.
Checker? Is it Checker?
Is it the new ballpark?
The new one. It's right downtown, so you see the skyline behind it. They did a good job there. Fans were good. They sold out a lot. Worst one though was probably in Single A. It's called Clinton, Iowa. The only thing is in that only place is the field and a Purina dog food plant. And if it was raining like this, the smell would come in. It would just sit on top of the field. The dirt had the locker room had dirt, so you had to change on a stool.
Are you serious?
You had to change on a stool.
I played a college game there. So.
Really?
And they had exposed pipes, so you went to go turn the showers on, and it was exposed hot water pipes. Like I scalded my hand, had second-degree burns on my hand. Yeah, you had change in the floor, like on your stool. So
it's kind of how I feel about the Cannery Ballroom in Nashville. You play if you ever went there and went backstage to play like a concert, whatever, and the dressing rooms had mold growing on the walls.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm like,
I don't understand how minor league baseball as an organization would allow some of these places to host it without a standard, but I mean, they do. So I can't say anything about it. So.
Do you guys like hearing these stories with all these former pros and these big leaguers?
So how if you guys saw Bull Durham? Have you ever watched Bull Durham? Have you ever watched Bull Durham?
Well, I know we're gonna do it on the next trip.
Well, you got to get parents at least get the
consent.
Yeah, because there's some rough spots. But how much is David and Ryan both have said this? It's like Major League or Bull Durham is like accurate depiction of what minor league baseball is.
It is a very accurate depiction. I mean, you go and play in Durham, the Bull's there. The Bull's there, and when you hit a home run, to this day, it still blows smoke out.
But all the stuff off the field and everything's just
every bit of it.
So that's
from the managers to everything.
Y'all need to watch the movie on your. It's crazy. But it's hilarious. It's a funny movie, but it's crazy.
Now, moving forward, you guys got a really busy week coming up. Really good team. Russellville, who's won a lot of state championships in Alabama. Weather permitting, will be coming to your ballpark tomorrow night for all of you guys. How excited are you all for this challenge?
Listen, I think we always look forward when Russellville comes in, just because Heaps did a great job of preparing those guys day in and day out to be a championship culture. And that would be what we kind of tested our gumption against, was them. Early in the season. Now we're getting them a little bit later than we normally do, but it's definitely a good test because, from here on out, we're through a dogfight because, you got Giles is going to be good, and you still got Summertown with arguably one of the better pitchers in the country in Grayson. So, to have those two guys, those two district, this is going to be a good test for us going forward, those last two district series with this week off in between.
And for you guys as well, how important game coming up tomorrow and then, a couple more after that.
I know we're excited to play Russellville tomorrow because they've beat us every time these last 2 years, and we feel like we're ready to compete with them tomorrow.
Absolutely. I think we all enjoy playing them, We kind of get angry when they come in there because, they're playing us. But like Carter said, they've beaten us every time. But it's been a good game every single time. But
yeah,
I hate to break it to you, but you're not going to be playing tomorrow. It's going to be
know.
too wet. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've let a few slip away from us. Freshman year, that was kind of Carter's well.
I know. That's why I gave up my first home run. His second game of the year.
That was kind of crazy, but
that one was a missile.
team.
Yeah, it was.
Farthest ball I've ever
I don't know
seen.
that it had.
No, that wasn't. No, that was.
NASA
that
was tracking.
off me.
That wasn't
That
you?
was off
Okay.
Garrett
Oh, that one off
Fisher.
Garrett.
No,
Yeah, there's
Okay.
one against Garrett Fisher.
That's right.
They went over our building.
Yeah, that was the one that NASA tracked.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the hardest hit ball I've ever seen in high school
I
baseball.
heard Caden hit one at Mount Pleasant that landed in someone's.
Oh, it did.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you
literally,
sit,
someone's
if you
front
sit
yard.
at Mount Pleasant behind, like if you're pulling into the gym, there's that brick house across the road.
Wow.
It was in their yard.
Really? What about those lights at that ball?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Nick was showing me that when we went up there, and I was like, we got to have something like that. Then somebody was telling me the price tag, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's expensive.
That's
sweet.
I keep joking. I think I said it to you one time. I said, Blade and Ryan, if they're listening to this, we'd like
That's right.
we'd like a donation. So
man, they're awesome.
I think the guys would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we'd like to thank you guys for coming here, and good luck for the final 3 games here of the week.
Absolutely appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Coming up next will be the Wildcats of Lawrence County here on xSports Live.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Employee Resources Credit Union is an easy solution to banking, offering a personal, simple, yet modern way to bank. When you bank with ERCU, you are a shareholder, meaning you own a piece of the pie. And we make it easy with the convenience of digital banking, with service you won't find at another financial institution, including low to zero fees and incredible rates. We have the technology you need with the personal service you deserve, right here in your own neighborhood. Employee Resources Credit Union, not for profit, for service.
Great food is just a short drive to Heinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Heinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back here to xSports Live on Hinie's BBQ. We're joined here by the Wildcats of Lawrence County head coach Clint Wright. Got Alex Bedford, Cole Schultz joining us here, and I know it's not exactly the way you guys wanted to start this season, but there has been some bright spots for you guys. You know, your pitching has been good, your offense has at times been good, and I know that it's kind of hard to see the forest through the trees, but there has been some bright moments for this team this year.
Yeah, I think we're getting to a point now where we understand what's going on. I think we're playing the game the right way. You can't say enough about what our pitching staff's going out and doing. The good thing is this: I don't think our guys are getting to a point where they're worried. We're not worried. I don't think we're worried. If we start swinging the bats, we're going to be trouble.
Yeah,
we're going to be trouble because we're doing the other two phases of the game the right way. Just have to see what happens when it comes.
Yeah. You guys know that you guys have struggled this year, but what are the positives that you two have seen from this team this year?
I just think no matter how hard it's nobody gets really down on each other. We always just try to stay positive and bring everybody up through obviously we're 2-12, but we just try to stay high.
Yes, sir. And our team kind of builds off of each other's mentality and everything, and I feel like if we ever start to turn this thing around and somebody starts to step up and start something, I think we'll catch on pretty fast. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about these two with you here, Clint. I mean, Alex he has to be leading the state in walks. Or maybe he has to be top 10 in the country.
Right.
But he's
like 18 now. 18 or 19 walks.
He's shown off the arm. He's shown off the legs. If that field wasn't on a 45-degree angle at Forest, that ball would have probably ended up on the football field. It's a pretty special guy you got here too.
Well, right? I think it's just a big piece to our puzzle. Obviously, but I mean we've got, I'm shying away from the growing pains thing. I don't want this thing to be growing pains. This is not growing pains. We're throwing the baseball too well for this to be growing pains. Okay, we start hitting the baseball, and then all of a sudden you've scored 4 or 5 runs, and then these little things that we want to call growing pains, they're masked. When you're hitting the baseball, a lot of this little stuff goes away. When you're not having to go out and think you've got to throw a shutout to give us a chance, then a lot of this little stuff goes away. But I mean, this is 2 very, very talented baseball players right here that just happen to be sophomores. There's people and teams and programs all over the country that are doing upper level stuff with freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Here we are. We've got some good seniors, a great junior class, a phenomenal sophomore class, and a good freshman class, and some more people coming. That we can get this thing done with the young guys without just having to chalk it up as, hey, you're growing. I think there's still a lot of baseball. Still a lot of baseball to play.
What do you guys feel about that too? I mean, I know you don't like the word growing pains, but how do you guys kind of move on from that and kind of, I hate to say the word grow, but kind of gain that experience as you're going through these games?
I think it's only a matter of time before we get things going, and we just always got to stay focused and have the right approach at the plate, and it's all mindset. It's all mindset when you get to the plate.
Yes, and we're about a little more than halfway through our season right here, and we've saw a lot of, I think, what we need to see, and I think we're just going to start building off of it. and not let it happen again and turn this thing around. So.
Alex has really, turned it on here as of late.
Right.
What have you liked and what have you seen out of
We
him?
we had to make an adjustment there. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that you don't have to coach every aspect of Alex Bedford, which is awesome. That's phenomenal. He has a great support staff at home. They do a great job helping him do what he needs to do. It's a small adjustment coming out of basketball. He was late. He was late, having trouble getting the barrel to fastball.
Yeah.
So
he was late for all the right reasons.
Yeah. So you kind of steer into it a little bit right there. We started working on going to left center. We start going to left center, and now you hit 2 balls to right field since then. I mean, so just guys that are buying in. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's the next step. Is you get these young guys that want to buy into a process and buy into a program and buy into what we're trying to do. And understand that, if you try this for the first 10 times and you're not successful, the 11th time might be the one where it sticks. We can't bail out early on what we're trying to do. But we're throwing the baseball, man. I think we've given up 5 earned runs in our last 6 games, and we're 0-6. So, I mean, you're not going to win any baseball game scoring 0.
Alex, what has been the transition like for you going from basketball? You guys had that great run for the boys basketball team and then go right into baseball. What's that transition been like?
It obviously, like he said, it's just been rough trying to get my timing down off faster pitching because we came in Columbia Academy. We had faced a really good freshman.
Yes, you have.
And then our second game, Brooks, we faced
90-95.
An Auburn commit going at 93. And I think like 2 games later we faced Grayson going at 90.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was all just my timing, and I've got my foot down faster, and I'm starting to hit balls left center, and it's working out pretty good for me.
Dustin?
You brought it up saying to go mental toughness, and that's hard to coach. So is that just where you have your one-on-one conversations with the guys and just try to build that up?
I think we have a team full of guys that are tough mentally. I do.
Right.
I think right now we're in a situation where we have a lot of guys that don't know how to be successful. We have a lot of guys that don't know how to be successful.
Right.
And I told them the other day, I said every successful baseball team, every successful baseball player and program has that one day where you finally come out and it clicks, and that's your first taste of success.
Right.
I mean, y'all have done some good stuff in your career. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a group, we don't know how to be successful yet. And I think once we figure that out, that hey, this is a good baseball team, man. It's a good baseball team. Once we get it figured out that hey, this is a baseball team that can be successful, then all of a sudden we can just let it loose and go play. Instead of having to be so perfect that's our problem right now. Is that we're not swinging the bats very well, and we think we have to be absolutely perfect in the other 2 aspects of the game. And then as soon as the littlest thing, the small thing goes wrong in the other 2 aspects of the game, we crater.
Right.
We crater because we're thinking, man, that one-run lead looks like a mountain right now. It ain't got to be that way.
No, not at all. And like you said, your pitching's been there.
Yeah.
I've liked everything I've seen. Like you said, everything's been a kind of up and down. But these 2 guys right here, they're some of your leaders. Yeah. And having a young team, you don't just have one. You need to have multiple. Whether it be in the dugout or on the field. And I think we're in the right direction.
We'll take one big hit.
And you got to be excited. You mentioned that they're sophomores. I keep forgetting that these 2 are sophomores, especially watching Alex play basketball. Yeah. I forget that these guys are so young. I mean, you've only got 3 seniors. You mentioned the junior class, 4 seniors.
4 seniors.
You mentioned the juniors and the strong sophomore class. I know, you got to be excited for the future and, know that a program takes time to build. The old saying, Rome isn't built in a day, but it takes time to build these things.
But we've also got, that's exciting. That's exciting. Don't get me wrong. We are thrilled. We're thrilled with where we are as a program right now. I think that we're definitely on the right track. But again, we're not pulling the chute. Nobody's pulling the chute on 2023. I'm not looking. I've got coaches calling me today wanting to schedule 2024, and I'm like, let's do that. Let's do that a little bit later down the road. We're still in 2023. You guys are still in 2023. It's the tournament sport. I mean, let's find a way to be really, really good at the end of April. We're swinging the bats at the end of April and still throwing the baseball the way we are, and we're a problem.
You mentioned that you're a little stitious. You know, you had a beard last time you were here.
I had a beard until about, my wife actually just texted me a second ago. She said, when did you shave? And I said, I had a beard when I left school, when I left practice. So.
Okay. So, I mean, what have you like changed up practice? Have you changed up your routine? I mean, this is for all you guys. If you just like tried to change up something just to think, you know.
I went inside out socks last night. Coach Ruddock shaved. He's got a goatee now. What else we done? We tried lifting. We tried lifting before the game that one day. Y'all remember that? I got all the bats out of the bat rack and threw them out into foul territory at one point.
We changed up our
Okay, so that's why I wondered. We come back from commercial break and I look, and there's like 3 guys picking up the bats, and I thought,
yeah, wake them up
world,
Dusty.
Well,
you got jostle the wake every
Well, I
day.
mean, it had been raining, so I mean, I didn't know if you were trying to clean them.
You got jostle the wake, man.
Right. Okay. Hey, I get it.
I'm not superstitious. I'm kind of stitious, though. It's a thing.
Is there anything you two try to do to? No superstition.
I'm not.
No,
sir.
That might be the problem.
That might be the same. Why don't y'all try something? Let's try something. One sock inside out.
Maybe.
Double knot one shoe.
We keep going back to Bull Durham. I mean, you breathe it through your eyelids. And y'all ain't ever watched that.
No.
Have you seen Major League? Okay, yeah, they've at least seen Major League, so you know,
I mean,
waking up the bats, got to do some voodoo.
Do something. Pull one back pocket out or something. I don't know.
We're gonna be okay. We need one guy to step up and get a big hit in a big moment, and it's gonna spark. It's gonna spark.
And I will say, I've noticed, you know, that the guys, y'all are staying in the games, you know, in the dugout. I would like to see, you know, just from my standpoint, where me and AJ are, you know, and we're there watching, plus from Colin, but a little bit more loud, if you want to say it that way, especially when you're on the field. I feel like as a pitcher, as I was, and I know Clint was, like, you like that defense. You know, it don't have to be quiet. And I'd like to see, I know it's hard to hear from left field, but you're an infielder. We should be able to hear you. Get behind you pitchers.
I think talking defensively, though, I mean, anytime you should see. I mean, I wish you could have saw the defensive effort we put up against Page over the last couple of nights. I mean, I've been telling everybody. I still think we are the best defensive outfield in the state of Tennessee.
Outfield.
Yeah. I think anything that's hit out there is gonna. Yeah. They're gonna go get it. Yeah. They're gonna go get it. And I think that goes back into the confidence in baseball thing. If you're a pitcher and you're standing on the bump and you think, man, I can give up a scud missile to center field, and I know Alex Bedford and Isaiah Bentley and Carter Hughes going to go get it. Man, I can play loose.
You're not going to burn them, that's for sure. I mean, we've seen Alex track some down, seen Isaiah do the same, and Carter.
Isaiah, it always looks like the ball's going to go over his head, but he makes some of the last catches.
He's really fast.
Cole, I know you played a lot last year. Obviously, your role's been extended this year. What's the adjustment been like from you going from? I mean, you did start a lot this year, but you've been a primary starter.
Last year and this year is obviously a lot different. You know, not having Cade out there on the field with me, but we didn't only lose a player when we lost Cade, which would have obviously been our best player, but we lost a leader too. So we're still looking for that person to step up. But I feel like, just like we talked about, superstition and mental mindset, we're definitely physically good enough because we've got players that, you know, work all the time. You know, we're great. We just gotta show it.
Clint, I asked Zach this question earlier. In the minors, what was the best place you played in and the worst place?
I loved it at Rome, Georgia. I loved it at Rome.
Yeah.
The GM there was really good to us. I didn't mind spring training, really.
Yeah.
I didn't mind spring training. I mean, we got put up in a really nice hotel as minor leaguers. You just get there and you're like, obviously you're not getting paid the whole time you're down there, which stinks.
Yeah.
But the Braves took care of us. I mean, we had good food. I mean, they took care of me.
So I mean, I covered the Appy League, so I've
Ooh.
seen
Yeah.
I've seen some of those places.
Hey,
Is there any?
I know all about Danville. Danville. I was at Danville for a while.
Yeah. Was there any place in the Appy League you're like, oh gosh, we got to go?
Pulaski.
Yeah.
Pulaski was awful.
Yeah.
Hey, Pulaski was. I'm telling you, the week before they tore down. What was it over? Behind Graphic Packaging. What was that place called?
Denver Trap.
No, behind Graphics over there.
The field behind.
That's where we used to play.
That was Denver Trap and Flanagan.
Flanagan. I'm telling you, the week that they tore down Flanagan Field, the playing service was better than in Pulaski. It was awful.
They've upgraded that place.
Awful. Outhouses behind the dugouts.
Yep.
It was terrible.
This was like 310 down right field line, and there was like a 30-foot wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's huge, and like the dimensions of this place are just. I worked in Bluefield, so I covered Bluefield and Princeton right there. And Princeton had a very high school field. Field to it.
I think the worst thing we ever had to do though was go. We went, I think 13 straight on the road, and one of those was like in the Midwest. I think it was like Southern Missouri. Finished a series, got on a bus, and went 14 hours to Traverse City, Michigan, nonstop, and it was brutal.
Apparently, whoever was doing the Midwest League scheduling,
it was Traverse City was awesome.
Yeah,
Traverse City, like middle of July, it's like 70 degrees. You're on the lake. It was a pretty cool place.
And finally, for you guys, you got Cascade coming up on Saturday.
I do.
You got, is it one game or two games?
We got varsity's going to play at 1:15, and the JV will play after.
Okay. So you got a chance to get back on the right track. You still got district games. You got Spring Hill coming up on Monday and Tuesday. I mean, what do you guys got to do? What do you want to see out of this team here in these next 3 games?
Competitive at bats. We kind of dove into some Steve Springer stuff. I mean, we asked these guys, "What do you do for a living?"
Hit baseball's hard.
You hit baseball's hard. I mean, we're not worried about batting average. We're not worried about man. I was 0 for 2 tonight. I was 1 for 3 tonight. No matter. I mean, one of his big things that he talks about is not letting yesterday's game beat you today. And that's what I'm saying. You can't let the last 13 games beat us Saturday. You know, we go hit baseballs hard, and eventually. We hit some baseballs hard last night. Eventually, some of that stuff's going to fall, and man, it's going to be a lot of fun when it does. We have fun. We do stuff the right way, man. We pulled off the fake throwaway at first base twice this year. Yeah. Pulled it on twice. We got it gangbusters last night. It was awesome.
Hey, for you two, how important are these next 3 games?
We just need to come out. Obviously, our pitchers are going to pitch, so we just need our offense needs to stay behind them and help them out a little bit, and just come out ready to hit, have better mindsets. I think our approaches have gotten better in our last game. They were definitely better, but we just need to stay on the right track, and we'll get things going.
Well, I think, we don't have to, even though our pitchers are doing a tremendous job right now, we don't need to try to rely on our pitchers to not give up any runs. And if we just start hitting the ball, man,
we just need
we'll start.
We need to put runs behind them so they feel like they ain't got to just throw straight 0 every inning.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming out here tonight, and good luck on Saturday and Monday, Tuesday next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, well, coming up next, we got the Eagles of Summertown here on xSports Live.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
Have an H&R Block Tax Pro do your taxes online, and tax season feels just as good as all those other seasons, like wedding season.
I W-2 you.
Taxes.
File from anywhere with the expertise of an H&R Block Tax Pro.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Whether it's popcorn, biscuits, or automotive, you need the right ingredients to achieve the best results. Heritage Automotive is proud to serve our community with a continually growing inventory. We also help our community grow by contributing to a vibrant economy, which helps build schools. I'm Keith Durham, and I'm the General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, and it's my job to make sure that you're 100% satisfied. Heritage Automotive, your hometown Chevy, Buick, and GMC dealer.
Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
Like you, our roots are in Lawrence County, providing banking for every stage of life since 1934. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank has been not just your bank, but also your friend, helping you with home loans, consumer and auto loans, and your everyday personal banking needs. Lawrenceburg Federal offers you a warm smile and personal experience, as well as the conveniences of modern-day online banking, mobile banking, and telebanking. Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, your neighbor and friend, located at 118 West Gain Street next to the courthouse.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town. When you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
And back here at Hinie's BBQ for xSports Live, this time we're joined by head coach Jason Burleson, the Summertown Eagles, and Jason had a couple tough ones this week against a very good Lewis County team, but your guys were right in there and were certainly battle tested in those two games in district play.
Right, Lewis County's got good pitching, they've got good hitting, good defense. They do a lot of things the right way, and we were in both games. Probably should have won the first one after we kind of tied the ball game up. Had runners at third, a couple innings, and just couldn't get them home. And then yesterday, same thing. We kind of got down early, fought back, got up 4-2, 4-3 in the fifth, and just couldn't hang on, and kind of let it slip away again. So two tough losses for sure.
Before then, though, you guys went on a 5-game win streak. Your bats were out in a big way. You scored 20 against Huntsville. You played all these out-of-state teams, and you guys were able to put the bat on the ball and drive in a lot of runs during that stretch.
Well, we've tried to, beef our schedule up as much as we can, and we do that every year. So we just happened to play 3 teams from Illinois, and they all could hit the ball really well, and we wound up winning one of those games, and then we played Cascade and won that one. Then we beat a really good Smith County team who had a Kentucky commit and a Vanderbilt kid is probably going to commit to Vanderbilt. So we played really well both those games, and then we come back on last Friday and beat 2 other teams, Huntsville and a team from Heritage, Indiana, who had a kid that's supposed to be about a 5th or 6th round pick out of the outfield. But anyway, we did swing the bat really well for 4 or 5 games there. Got on a 5-game win streak, but then our bats went cold the last 2 ball games. We just couldn't put the ball in play as much as we needed to the last 2 games.
Is it just kind of one of those, like, it's just baseball sort of things? It's just kind of sometimes the offense just goes off, your pitching, defense work, and then 2 games later it's like you're back at square one.
And that's where it is individually for these guys. They may have a couple of games where they don't hit, but then you turn around and the next 2 or 3 games they've hit the baseball. So baseball is mental, and it's a tough game. But for us, it's been just a roller coaster. Even last year and this year, I think we've talked about that a little bit. It's just kind of been, we beat a good Spring Hill team a couple of weeks ago, and again, the Smith County team I thought was a really good team. And then we've been in a lot of games and just couldn't finish some of them. So, which, like I said, it's just been a roller coaster, but we're trying to figure it out. So.
Hey JB, I was just wondering, what's some of the bright spots maybe for you that maybe you didn't see coming, before the season started?
Well, I had 2 guys who were going to come with me tonight, Matthew Luffman and Zach Staggs, and with all this weather, I just said, hey, you might want to stay at home. I don't want to make mom and dad mad for getting you out of this, because we were practicing middle school baseball while the storms were coming through a while ago, so I didn't want to make all the parents mad. So, but those 2 guys have both been bright spots for us. Matthew's played second base for us and struggled a bit last year, so he's been a starter for us this year, but he's hit the ball really well. I think he only has 1 error on the year at second base, so he's been a real bright spot for us. And Zach's been pretty solid, too, in the outfield. Jackson Bennett's thrown really well from the mound for us. And then we've had several other guys. Casey Blackwood's been really good for us at the plate. And, these guys are young. Casey's a freshman. Jackson's a freshman. Grayson's threw well for us. Grayson's hit the ball pretty well for us, too. So, but they're all these guys are speaking of, most of them are freshmen, sophomores. So we've had several guys step up, and like I say, we've got to just get better as we go here. So.
Okay, opposite. What are some things that maybe you were expected that maybe haven't developed yet, like you maybe, and it still could happen, right? But maybe they're just kind of.
Well, individually, we've had, there are 2 or 3 guys that have struggled with the bat a little bit that maybe hit it better last year. It's like we talked just a while ago. They may be struggling for a couple of games, but then all of a sudden they turn it on. So I believe in those guys that they'll get it going. But as far as some pitching, we've been kind of up and down pitching, up and down defensively. And I go back to the Smith County game. We started out to the Smith County game and made 5 errors in the first inning. We're down 4-0. And then all of a sudden, from the 2nd inning to the 7th inning, we turned it around, didn't make any errors, hit the ball really well. So that's the roller coaster part I'm talking about. It's just been up and down all year long like that.
Is it just a sign of a young team? You mentioned your freshmen and your sophomores, and this is kind of, just like we saw in basketball. It's, the consistency is. It's going to be an issue when you have a young team.
Well, I like to try to use that as an excuse, but a lot of the guys we've got have got a lot of games under their belt.
Yeah.
You can only be young for so long, and a lot of these teams, Loretta's still young, and Mount Pleasant, I think, is still young. Lewis County's young. So we're right there in the same boat as a lot of those, so we don't want to use it too much as a crutch. And again, a lot of our guys, Kane Kinnick and Grayson and Jackson and Casey Blackwood and Kurt Burleson, those guys have played a lot of baseball over the years. So we don't want to use it as a crutch, but they are young, so it is what it is.
You're in the meat of your district schedule right now. You still got Loretto coming up. You still got Giles County. These are 2 really good teams.
Right.
And how was that? The previous game, you said beefing up the schedule, playing these tough teams, playing this really good talent from out of state. How does that get you ready for this district?
Well, it should get us ready. I mean. The biggest thing is Giles and Loretto both have really good pitching. And we've seen some of that from these other teams, but I don't know. Again, these guys are really talented. We played Forest early in the year, and I was talking to their coach, and he said, y'all's district is the toughest in the state.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you can get out of your district, it's always been that way. And I feel the same way. All of our teams have good pitching.
Yeah.
So every night you go out there, you're seeing anywhere from 82 to 88 miles an hour, So you better be ready because you're gonna see good pitching, and that's what we saw from Lewis County. Lewis County threw 2 guys, and they're both sophomores. And they're both 82 to 85, 86 miles an hour with good change-ups and stuff. And that's kind of the difference that I see a lot of guys, pitchers now is, one, pitching is faster than it's ever been. Guys are throwing change-ups more than they've ever thrown. So guys are just better pitchers now than they were 15, 20 years ago. So it's the game's changed a lot.
Well, I was just going to say, I was going to kind of go off that, JB. When I played, the district changed so much, right? I mean, when I played a single A, right, it was Collinwood, Wayne County, but you kind of had your 5 or 6 teams. You had top tier teams, right? You had 2 or 3. Usually you had some bottom 3. If you played okay, you were going to win. Tell me how it's changed. Like you were just saying over the years, because I mentioned AJ a few minutes ago. I mean, if you don't show up and play, you can get beat any night.
Right.
I mean, you have to show up every night now.
Right. Well, in a lot of years past, because Giles and Loretta and Lewis County, we've always played those teams, Mount Pleasant. And in most of those years, we've always been able to handle our own. But again, being young, it's kind of took its toll here the last 2 years. But Loretta's better than the last 5 or 6 years. They've been better than they've ever been. They're throwing out guys out there that are first and second round picks in the draft. And Giles County's got the Carden kid and the Kelly kid this year that are from the left side. They're both 85 to 86 miles an hour. And then Lewis County again's got the same. And so it is tougher every night you play. You better be ready. But again, our schedule, we've tried to beef it up as much as we can, and so we can see those guys to get us ready for that type of competition.
Yeah, you mentioned, these guys they're playing a lot of summer ball. They're playing some in the fall. Is that where the game has really changed? Is just the experience that everyone has now?
Yeah, and for years that I've been at Summerdown, for a long time, we carried our team and played a summer schedule.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, we've kind of dropped that because, like a lot of high school teams, they've kind of quit doing that. We used to go in the summer and play a big tournament at Blackman, and we'd play at Columbia Central, and then we would play about a 15 to 20 game schedule in the summer with our own team. And we haven't done that in the last couple of years, and I think that's hurt us. And not just us. I think there's several teams that's kind of dropped that. And a lot of that goes back to a lot of these teams have so many travel ball kids now that a lot of those kids take off and play travel ball. So that's helped us and hurt us, I guess you could say, in both ways.
I'm curious on your opinion. Everybody has a different one on travel ball.
Right.
Okay, I've seen kids that are prior to travel ball, are average kids, and they go there, and next thing you know, they're coming out and they're different. They're just totally different, right? I've also seen kids that are really great going in, got tons of talent. They play so many games. You got more chances of injury, right? Burnout, which it's an issue with a lot of schools. As kids get older, right? Summertime now, you got football.
Oh yeah.
What's your opinion on the travel ball thing as far as can it be too much?
Oh yeah. I think it can be too much. Now, all my boys have always played travel ball.
Yep.
We played league ball. We played travel ball. So I'm a proponent of both. I like the league ball and I like the travel ball now. So I can see both points of it. I've seen kids get burnt out and not play as much later on. Yeah. But I always go back and say, well, they might not have really enjoyed it as much anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
So if you really love it, then most of those guys keep playing. So it kind of goes both ways. That's kind of my thoughts on it.
I agree.
I enjoy it. I enjoy watching my kids play in the summer, and they're going to continue. My younger two are going to continue to do that, I guess.
So you got more Burlesons in the bullpen?
Well, I've got my 2 older ones, and then I've got Grayson. Of course, I got the younger one, Cooper's here with me tonight. He's a 6th grader. So
I'm going to have Burlesons for the rest of my life.
At least
coming
6 more years.
6 more years.
Yeah.
So moving ahead now, Jason. You got one on Friday, or is it one tomorrow?
We don't play tomorrow. We're off, and then we play again Friday.
Okay.
We were supposed to play Sale Creek at 3.
Okay.
At Summertown.
Okay.
And then Sale Creek will play Cascade in a little tournament we do with Lawrenceburg.
Right.
And then after that, we were supposed to play Cascade later that night, but they've canceled. They're not wanting to play. They had 2 or 3 other games they're playing. So again, it's 3 o'clock against Sale Creek.
Now you got that game, and obviously you go back into district play after that. How important are these next 3 games for you guys?
Well, Friday's important, but Monday and Tuesday against Giles is very important. They're must-win games for us if we want to try to stay out of the 4-5 game. The elimination game in the district tournament. So they're must-win games for us. And then after that, we've got Eagleville on Tuesday, who's really good. We go to Columbia Academy on Thursday, and then we go down and visit Rogers with Coach Walt Smith down there. So we're going to go down there and play those guys. So we're on the road 4 out of 5 next week.
You're busy.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not taking it lightly on your team.
No. So, I mean, again, I just think it helps us to play on the road and
right.
Play the best competition we can play. You know, we're going to take some lumps, but again, hopefully by the end of the year, we've seen 82, we've seen 90, we've seen 86 from left side to right side. We've seen it all, so at least give them a chance to be ready for it.
All right. Well, Jason, I'd like to thank you for stopping by here on xSports Live, and good luck rest of this week and on through next week.
All right, I appreciate you having us. Thanks.
Coming up, me and the guys are going to talk about a little bit of controversy that happened in the Women's National Championship game this past weekend. It's coming up next here on xSports Live.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation, you're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit lawrenceburgflooringandmore.com.
Whether you're looking to spruce up the interior or exterior of your home or business, trust Lawrenceburg Glass to provide a one-of-a-kind product. From windows to mirrors, shower doors, custom framing, storefront installations, and everything in between, Lawrenceburg Glass takes pride in our quality craftsmanship and strong attention to detail. With us, your customer experience always exceeds expectations. We're reliable, on time, and we deliver stunning results. Lawrenceburg Glass. Our passion is reflected in our work.
What really matters during the ball game? I realize that in high school sports, we don't have the last names on the back of jerseys usually. But the question is often asked, are you playing for the name on the front or the name on the back? The same should be considered spiritually. Paul said in Philippians 1 and verse 21, "For me to live as Christ and to die as gain." So who are we truly living for? What name are we trying to promote? Is it the name of Christ, the name of Christian? And that message brought to you by your friends at the Leoma Church of Christ.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you as an employee a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
McMaster's Home Gallery, where you'll always get a special price every day. Shop their new showroom full of name brand furniture, sofas, recliners, dining and bedroom suites, Serta bedding, lots of tables and chairs just to match your decor. McMaster's Home Gallery also has GE appliances. Stop by on Highway 43 in Loretto or call 853-6140.
Got primary care? Find your way to better health with primary care by One Stop Medical. With decades of combined experience, you'll find a one-on-one relationship just like the old days, but with the convenience and technology of today. When One Stop Medical does primary care, it's the best. Call today for an appointment and find your way to healthy living. Serving Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Hohenwald. Phone 931-244-8220. Primary care by One Stop Medical at its best.
This is the xSports Network.
Welcome back to xSports Live here, joined by Dusty Kaiser, Adam Lindsay here. Cam had to leave early, go head do something at his church. We do appreciate him stopping by here for a little bit tonight. And guys, one of the biggest subjects that has happened over the past weekend, you have the Women's National Championship basketball game. A lot of eyes on there because of what Caitlin Clark was doing. She lit up South Carolina for 41 points, had 31 against LSU, but it was a banner day for women's basketball. 9.9 million viewers watched it. It was more than the NBA All-Star game. I hate to say it, it's more than any NHL playoff game, including the Stanley Cup Finals over the last 15 years. They did a lot of big things. It was a great game, but we had two things that kind of marred it, and one definitely overshadowed the other. Number one, the officiating was as bad as we've ever seen in a major event like that. And then on top of that, all the stuff that went down with Angel Reese, with all the, the John Cena stuff, and all the stuff that went down, and what should have been a banner moment for women's college basketball is kind of been overshadowed by all of this other stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't. The way I look at it is that the example that's shown for the youth, to me, that's what gets me. For years, I mean, we were talking about, the Spike Lee, somebody mentioned Spike Lee, Jordan, right, Reggie Miller, all that stuff. But honestly, though, how many times do you remember after a game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you see brawls, or you see Jordan and Miller after a game. Now, in the course of the game, right, you're trying to win a basketball game. I've seen Jordan and Miller had to be separated. Jordan actually hits Miller with a punch. Of course, he's Jordan. I love Jordan, but he gets away with it. Anybody else probably would have been thrown out. But, that's the thing with me. And the officiating was not great. But I'll also say, too, the athletes today, with some of the behaviors they have, it's just a totally different game to officiate now. It's not like it used to be.
Right.
There's things now that people do, kids, that back then you didn't do.
Right.
It wasn't even something you
didn't think of it.
No. As far as the, all this after the game's over, these are college adults. I mean, they're adults. So, hey, if you're going to dish it, you've got to be able to take it. Okay, so I don't have an issue with that, but I just look back on, these are the people my kids look up to. The Allen, my son loves Allen Iverson. Loves him. I do too. Iverson was great. But I'm sitting there watching his video of practice. I mean, what kind of example is that to a kid who's trying to work? Of course, Iverson was the most talented guy on the planet. Practice to him at that point, it wasn't big.
He didn't have to practice.
No, he'd go out tomorrow night and score 40. Right. But to me, that's the frustrating part of it. It's just the example it's setting for. We try to teach our kids, and our coaches try to teach our kids to play with respect. The way it's supposed to be played. In dignity. Right. Everything you've got, treat people the way they're supposed to be treated, and it's just tough when you've got that happening.
Oh, and I'm going to bring it up a little different way. And we'll talk about Caitlin. It was either the game before or the game 2 games before. She's not even playing defense. If y'all look back, she's backing up in the paint, and she's waving this girl off because she's sending a 3-point line. She's not playing defense. She's saying shoot it because you're not going to make it. But that's fine. That's not been brought up any. But now this is happening. Like we talked off air. She hadn't maybe Reese hadn't said a whole lot during the game, but they'd been chirping a little. Was the John Cena thing a little too much? Maybe so. But she also did point at that finger after the Elite Eight.
Yeah. It wasn't the first time she had
It wasn't the first time, but it's almost like it was okay for Caitlin to do it, but not okay for Reese, maybe because Caitlin may be the best player in the country. So I feel like, and we could talk hours about NBA players, but I think a lot of those guys and a lot of these females in college basketball, if they are considered the best, they get that pass. It's okay. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
I love trash talk.
Yes.
I mean, we love the stories. We're going to bring up our favorite trash talkers coming up next. I talked a lot of trash, especially Not so much in baseball.
You're on my list. You're actually on one of my top three.
You can't repeat a lot of the stuff I said in high school football, but Kevin's heard a few of those stories. Yeah, Kevin's heard a few of those stories on our travels of what I used to say. Not so much in baseball, but in football I played offensive and defensive line, and there's a couple. I got under my rival's skin, who was the defending state champions, and I knew some things about their personal lives I brought up on just about every play that I'm not going to bring up here. I got the better of them. They're both 2 D1 players. I took them both out constantly that night, mentally and physically, and they know it. They know I did that. It's one of my crowning achievements as a football player. I don't mind it. I love trash. It's an intense game. It's a national championship. LSU's not missing a shot. We had a 102-85 game in regulation of a national championship game. My biggest thing is Angel Reese said she was standing up for South Carolina and Louisville. It's like, you don't need to do that.
No.
They can. Haley Van Lith, who was what Caitlin Clark was doing that to, is one of the biggest trash talkers in the game. She didn't have a problem with Caitlin Clark doing it. No one in South Carolina had a problem with her doing that. I just, you played a game 39 minutes, 50 seconds, and you're going to pick the final 10 seconds to start doing "You Can't See Me" when you didn't talk to the girl pretty much the entire game. I don't have a problem with the ring thing. Aaron Donald started that at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of people do it. That, they get your fans excited, but the whole thing of doing it at the end when you hadn't talked to the girl the whole time. But the biggest thing is not everyone, but a lot of people have a problem with it. Who didn't have a problem with it? Caitlin Clark.
No, she showed it off.
Yeah. Didn't think it was a big deal.
No.
And I think, honestly, I was so excited about that game because, we watched. I like how they do it, that the women play on Friday.
Yes.
So everyone's around their TV sets watching that. Then they have that 3:30. So it's kind of like that NFL primetime kickoff game on a Sunday. A lot of people watch it. Obviously, we mentioned 9.9 million people tuned in. I'm excited for the future. You know what? I want to see those two teams. I want to see them do a home and home in the regular season. If they're not trying to book that right now, they're crazy.
They should.
Home and go to Baton Rouge, go to Iowa City, do a home and home, and I hope they meet up in the tournament again because we're going to be watching.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, we're going to watch that game again, watch it over and over.
Yeah, and we talked about, some of that. When everyone's unanimous about how bad the officiating is, when you got a coach standing at the 3-point line and one girl doesn't say anything and just knocks the ball out of bounds.
She grabbed one referee.
Yeah.
She grabbed
Yes, she did.
She grabbed her.
She touched it.
Maybe they let the women get away with it, but if that had been a guy.
Yeah. And it's the thing that all of us have said all season. We just want to see consistency.
Oh.
We want to see consistency from our umpires, from our football guys, from our basketball guys. And as we've seen, at every level, it's not just a high school thing.
Oh, no, it's
got
below high
problems
school.
at every level.
Yes.
Well, the game's more complicated now.
Right.
That to me.
Yeah.
You've got replays. When to do a replay, when not to. What's a technical foul? What's a flagrant foul?
Yeah.
Flagrant 1, flagrant 2.
Yes.
Hand checking, for years was,
that's a foul.
Yeah, awful thing, right? Now, you touch someone.
Yeah.
So it's, I think the officials, don't get me wrong, they can always do better, but they're having to adapt to something that's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And the TSSAA this year, I know, me and you've talked, some of the officiating, some of these games.
Oh.
I understand, but then again, I'm also sitting here thinking too, we know they're having a shortage. There was games that couldn't be played this year because they couldn't get umpires or refs.
I heard the other day some baseball team right here in Middle Tennessee had to push their game back.
You guys had a softball problem, right?
Yeah, we had a game with Forest that we were going to schedule for the next day, because of rain.
Right.
But no official. We couldn't get umpires. So we still have yet to play them, and it got rained out on Monday. We've tried to play them twice, so I don't know if we'll ever get to play them. But
And I don't want to rant on TSSAA right now at this time, but that's a problem with them. That's an organization who employs these umpires, or these referees, these officials.
Yeah.
They should. It's no different. My job and what I do. They have to supply employees for the dealership. So why are they not lining up? And I understand people are not working, and it's tough. And I'm also going to get on something else real quick about it. Is we do harp on these officials, but they signed up for it.
They did.
Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
And we're also talking about, especially at the college level, they're pretty much full-time employees.
They are.
Yeah.
And they get paid.
Yeah.
They get paid.
Pretty well.
Yes.
Even at the women's level, they
Absolutely.
get paid pretty well. So that also brought up, I should have put something on Facebook about it, but when you're dealing with a 1-year-old, your mind goes all over the place. So best trash talkers. Now Clint, who couldn't be here tonight, he's helping move his daughter. So here is his favorite trash talker. So he had Stone Cold Steve Austin. Obviously, you could probably put The Rock there as well. Deion Sanders, Ray Lewis. He put The Rock in number 2. And then I can't repeat what he put, but he put Larry Bird. So that's a pretty good list of trash talkers. And Adam's got no cards.
Yeah, well, I had to write these down because I wouldn't forget them. My son was actually helping me when he told me what was going to be on the show today. He threw Ray Lewis out. My son did.
Yeah.
Now, he's great, but he wasn't my top 3.
Right.
Okay.
Clint does have one, Bird.
To
me.
Oh, man. Iconic.
Yeah.
The other one, which you're going back in time a little bit, but Ali.
Oh, yeah. I said it today at work.
Really
I
good.
mean, you couldn't have him on the Mount Rushmore. He has to be on there.
Yeah.
The other one is kind of a wild card, and I'm not a UFC fan. I'll watch it occasionally.
He's going there.
But I'm going to tell you, this guy, and he's a pretty good fighter. He's legit. But I'm going to tell you, his trash talking and his YouTube videos are elite, and it's. Hopefully I'm saying this right. Chael Sonnen is. I have sat there before at night for 45 minutes and physically had tears rolling down my eyes from laughing at this guy.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He's the real deal.
And it's all off the cuff. And I don't know how some wrestling promotion has him.
I was going to say, how does WWE sign him? Because, he would be so good on mine.
And he does a great job. He's actually kind of like a analyst on ESPN. They kind of call him. Right. He's really intelligent, too.
Yeah.
He's just... Yeah. But some of his statements should be documented for years to come. He's the real deal as far as trash talk.
Who you got, Dustin?
All right, so I had Deion on my list.
Okay.
Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry Bird was my number 1.
Yeah.
And I got to go with Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah.
Sure. He was another one.
That was the mouth runner. I feel like,
Yeah, I agree.
We could talk for hours about it. One, I think we don't talk about enough, and we all seen all the documentaries, but Jordan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Jordan fan through and through, but he could talk it.
Yeah.
Well, I had him. He was one of the first ones that came to mind.
Right.
However, the only reason I didn't throw him on my list, I think these guys came to the stadium with intentions of trash talk.
Yeah.
I think Jordan was perfectly fine scoring 45 or 50 on you and going home until you pushed a button.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I think once that button
Unless
was pushed,
it was
you
the
just
bad
opened
boys.
it all up.
If it was Detroit or the Knicks,
Yeah.
I think it was when he walked in the arena, his mouth was running.
As Isaiah Ryder or as Byron Scott, Isaiah Ryder said, you don't take off Mike.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good shot, Mike.
Well, there's the famous Reggie Miller story, where he's playing him in a
Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. He says he had like 6. It's in a preseason game. Jordan has like 6 at halftime. Miller has like 12. He said I'm kicking his butt. And I think at the end of the game he said Jordan had 45 and I still had 12.
Yeah.
And the only thing he said to me with the whole game was, "Don't mess with Black Jesus."
Don't mess with Black Jesus. Yeah.
So my favorite is Larry Bird's at the top because just some of his stories are just like, hey, don't worry about that play. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right there. I'm going to get the crow. I'm going to hit the shot. And I'm going to win the game.
Yep.
Has so many stories like that. I heard someone the other day, I think it was Scott Pollard, telling the story of he did the old college thing, like trying to deliver, they go shot and get the, and he did it, go shot, and Bird goes, yes it is. Over the shot. The Jordan ones were good. Reggie Miller, they literally made a 30 for 30 about his trash talk against John Starks and the New York Knicks.
Yes.
And he got Michael Jordan to try to deck him. That's how bad Reggie Miller got underneath his skin. And from my personal experience, every single hockey player talks trash. I don't think you guys know this, but there are multiple stories of hockey guys talking trash. Now, the first minor league game I ever covered, I was walking up I was in Macon, Georgia, I was going up to, shoot the game. So I'm at the ice level, I'm walking up. A guy from the opposing team slips and falls right in front of the Macon Mayhem bench. And about 3 guys get up at the same time and go, "Hey, that ice is slippery, eh, bud? Might want to hold on down there, right?"
Yeah.
But if you go ice level at a hockey game, that's all you hear.
Yeah. Well,
somebody's talking to somebody. And
with officiating there too, with all that going on, that can't be monitored and tracked. I mean, it's
no way.
There's no way. Too fast. I mean, there could be anything said or done at any time in there, and you can't. Yeah.
We all know sports pretty well, and I feel like we could probably sit down and talk about any sport.
Yeah.
And I know AJ is a hockey fan a lot more than I am.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you if they're breaking a rule or not.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
Just gotta watch it some more. You watch it with me. I'll help you guys.
Yeah, because I'm lost.
Yeah, but they I live next to some guys in an apartment complex in Macon, Georgia. They played their fair share of pranks on me at practice.
Wow.
You guys know who you are, so they totally made me think one guy was one thing.
The best thing, I've never really been a big hockey fan.
Yeah.
But the best thing to me that ever happened to hockey, where I did watch it more, was the light up puck.
Yeah,
if you remember that when it first came in Channel 4 or whatever, they would light the puck up so you could actually track it. Right. It had a glow around it. I mean, I especially live, to me, it was hard to keep track because these guys are that fast and that skilled.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a goal, and I think the puck would be on the other side. I'm like, okay, where's the puck?
And I just understand. I mean, it's a car wreck to me the whole time.
Right.
But I would much rather watch it live than on TV. I feel like I can keep up with it better live than I can on TV.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a short break here. Coming up, we're going to have our rants and close out the show next year on xSports Live.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Great food is just a short drive to Hinie's BBQ in Lawrenceburg. Mouth-watering is just one way to describe the amazing flavors of the best piece of Hinie in town when you dig into a plate of pulled pork, hand-chopped brisket, chicken, wood-fire oven pizzas, and the menu goes on. Wash it all down with a swig of Hinie Shine lemonade and then make your way over to the gift shop full of Hinie sauces, snacks, and more. Hinie's BBQ, Highway 43 North in Lawrenceburg.
This is the xSports Network.
And welcome back to xSports Live here at Hinie's BBQ. It's time for the guys to rant. Dusty, take the floor, man.
I'm going to just real quick, we talked about it off air when I first got here, and it's about the Women's National Championship game. Miss Biden, how do you invite the losers to come to the White House? We all know that winners, championship winners, are the ones that get invited to the White House, not the losers. And I will tip my hat to Caitlin Clark saying, we're good, or I'm good. I'll come at a different time. I mean, come on, really? I get maybe she don't understand, but that's just part of it. You just don't invite losers to the White House.
Adam, I heard you got a lot.
Yeah. I've only got 3 things.
And
two of them are sports related. Like I said, people sent me a list of things when they said I was going. When they knew I was going. I mean, I could have wrote a documentary.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is actually mine. And I'm probably going to regret the rest of my life what I'm fixing to say. I love women in general. I'm just telling you, women, my wife is an amazing woman. They make the world go round. But I will say this, and I've talked about this before, leggings are not pants. You can wear pants, you can wear a dress, but leggings are not pants. And you know, it's okay. You're beautiful without wearing leggings, okay? I can't go into Target anywhere without seeing 10 to 20 women in leggings. I feel like I'm at a DC Comics convention. I'm just telling you, I think women are beautiful without them. And that's just my opinion. I think enough's enough. I mean, you can't have pants, shorts, or a dress anymore. You have to come up with leggings. And then you've got all capris, right? That's another thing. Pick one. You're beautiful no matter what, okay? Number 2 is sports related, and this is actually serious. You might like this. Go ahead.
No. I was about to say the views of Adam Lindsay do not express the same views as the experts ever.
I knew that my phone, by the time I get home, it's going to be, but look, it's okay. Honesty is one thing I thrive on, so I can
like it. We like it. We like it.
Number 2, my dad actually brought this up to me today. The second bag on the first base, where you have another bag to the side about preventing injuries.
Yeah.
And something, we had a thing last year, I believe, an incident where a girl was suspended, maybe out of Alabama, who trucks the first base.
Yes.
If you remember that. And this was a very highly touted young lady that was, that, and I've seen, and early on, in earlier age groups, younger, you have that extra bag. With TSSAA always talking about safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why that? I'm wondering if that's not something that needs to be implemented to me. The last thing, and this has been a gripe for me for years, and I've mentioned it before in a softball game, the TSSAA state tournament softball, great venue. I love being there. However, the unfortunate part for me is you've got the best teams in the state that are playing softball on a fence, a temporary orange net fence. That not only are you playing on that, but it's not even extended. It's just extended to the foul lines. So it won't even go all the way to the outside fence. So if you hit a ball down the line,
you can run around and catch it.
It's all. Well, you guess you could. We've seen multiple kids crash through it.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
And
we've seen it at the college level too.
Yeah, and I understand money comes into play, contracts, things like that, but 5 or 6 of the biggest, nicest high schools probably in the state are within 10 miles of there.
Yeah.
And they have immaculate fields, and you're playing over there in that.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, and I love the fields. But, to me, playing that big of a tournament with all those great kids that have put all that time and effort, the parents, the money you're spending, I just think you can do better.
You literally took a part of my rant for somewhere down the line.
Yeah. And 2 years ago, Claire Woods, Summertown wins the state championship, 34-2, whatever we were that year. My daughter was a sophomore. Woods goes to the whole state tournament, pitches every game. No runs allowed except one. The one run was a ball that was hit over our center fielder's head. It was a rocket. Now, don't get me wrong. And the kid that hit it, I think, is going to be committed to Florida State.
Wow.
She'll be getting Florida State here in a year or two. But the ball physically hits the fence.
It goes over.
And goes under, and it flips it up. Well, look, the umpire, he's almost you've got the home plate umpire, and you've got the one in the field. He can't see it either. Home run. So there you go. That was the one run she gave up in the whole state tournament that actually wasn't even legitimate. It was not a home run.
Went under the fence.
Went under the fence.
Wow.
But, those are things, to me, that's something that maybe, AJ, you can tip on that later, talk about that later.
Yeah,
but that's something I've been griping on for years.
I think there's some venues that might need to change for some sports, but that, and I've, just from my experience of covering other sports, and I'll probably harp on my own state at some point when it comes out. But that's down the road because, and I'll reveal a conversation me and you were a part of with a certain official at the softball complex.
Was that during a rain delay?
Yes, it was.
I remember
that was an interesting conversation, and I had a lot of choice words at the end of that one, for sure. But my rant here at the end here is has to go back with the women's championship game, and I think we're getting at a point at the end. We heard some comments from Angel Reese. We heard some comments from Don Staley after they calling out certain people, saying that they're thugs, saying that they play like they're fighters or that it's a street fight. I think someone's got to say it, and it irks me. I know a lot of people have already come out in the national media and said it. Not everything is racist.
No.
Especially in sports.
Absolutely.
Not everything is racist. You cannot claim slavery when 87% of your league is a certain race. Don Staley came out and said that there's certain people in the media saying these things that are hush. Well, if they're saying it, call out their names.
Yeah.
I'm sick and, this is for all the haters. Who are your haters? Tell us who your haters are. Call them out. Now, I get if it's one thing, if you're just trying to fire up your team some way, I get that.
Right.
It's some sort of motivation, a little white lie. But if you're going to say it in a press conference, call out their names. I think this whole thing has just opened up a lot of things and a lot of issues. Do I think some people had hate against Angel Reese because of some underlying issues? Probably. And let's be real. We got some issues in this country that haven't been solved yet. Are we much better than what we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50? No doubt. But not everything is about race. Why does something that happens to someone of one color and all of a sudden, it's a race thing, it's this and that? And, maybe they just don't want to pay them a lot of money. Maybe because they're injury prone, they don't want to pay them a lot of money. Or maybe the person is a youngster, needs to grow, needs to realize that you don't talk trash to somebody with 10 seconds left. It has nothing to do with their color. It just has to do with, they're 19, 20 years old. They don't know any better yet.
Yeah,
they're growing as people. It's not a race thing all the time. Is it sometimes? Absolutely. And I'll be the first to admit it. And I've had those conversations with people. But you see it in politics. You see it in entertainment. Too much music. It's bleeding way too much in the sports. And, some of my favorite athletes of all time are not white. I love, as long as you're playing for my team, as long as I see you hustle, see you doing the right things and playing the game and being entertaining and spectacular, I'm going to love you no matter what. That's one of my favorite things about sports, and I can rant about this all day. When you go, being a Cubs fan, when you go into Wrigley Field, it doesn't matter your race, your religion, it doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter where you grew up. As long as you're a Cubs fan, I high five everybody.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I talk about my team to anyone. As long as you got that blue hat on with the red C, that's all that matters to me. That's the beautiful thing about sports, and I just hate that every time something happens, it's like, oh God, here it comes. Here comes that conversation.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people relate a certain slang term to a group of people.
Right.
The word thug is not a great term to use.
No, it's not.
People use it. But also the times that when I say the word thug, it's not associated with a certain color.
Yeah.
There are thugs that could be any color.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like I've always said, and I'll be the first to admit it. I've coached travel ball and everything for years, and I've coached Hispanic, white children, black children, whatever. Yeah. I've always said, look, you're a Nazi, and you've got a swastika on your forehead. If you can throw 62 mile an hour for me and win me 5 ball games, we'll go hit the mound. It's your business, right?
Right.
I mean, I think, but like you said, everything has reached the point to where we've reached for everything.
Yeah.
I personally believe, and I wanted Iowa to win.
Yeah.
I did just because Clark, right?
Yeah.
I was really a big fan of that kid. She's amazing. But I'm not going to lie. The best team won that game.
Absolutely.
No
doubt.
The best team won that game, and they were lucky. Was South Carolina game?
Yeah.
They were destroyed on the boards.
Yeah.
They were destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got every rebound. And look, I don't blame, they talk about thuggish mentality, the physicality of it. That's basketball.
Yeah.
And look, and you look at the front line of the LSU team, look at the front line of South Carolina.
Huge.
I mean, their guards
And they
were the
can
size of Iowa's postmen.
Yeah. And they had great effort.
Yeah.
Great effort. That's the part of the offensive rebound mentality.
And look how many offensive rebounds that Reese has had throughout the year.
Yeah.
But she set a record.
Yeah.
She had
She's
36 double-doubles.
She's going to be a first-round WNBA pick. She's going to make a lot of money at some point.
Absolutely.
But she's young. She's going to learn. I said a lot of dumb stuff when I was 20 years old.
And you're talking about other people saying things. I mean, and I'm not trying to harp on Tennessee fans or whoever, but she was either going to Tennessee or LSU.
Yeah.
Who's to say that some of this crap didn't come from somebody that's just pissed off because she didn't come to their school?
Yeah. It's
and we do see that a lot, especially in college sports.
Yeah.
And we can talk about college football and how people get mad and everything else, but it's just stupid.
I think we're just so separated in this country, and that's the best thing I love about sports. And
sports, I feel like brings it together,
everybody together. And I hate that the politics gets brought into it way too often, instead of just recognizing that LSU was the best team in the country. Scored 102 in
And we
regulation.
didn't talk about their coach tonight. Come on.
Yeah.
We didn't bring her name up.
Yeah. That's just my rant for the evening, and so I'm going to wrap things up here tonight on xSports Live. So for Dusty Kaiser, for Adam Lindsay, I'm AJ Gooden, producer extraordinaire Kevin Wright. Have a great evening. Got a busy schedule coming up tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday on the xSports Network.
This is the xSports Network.